Ah, boy. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, the 32nd edition of the African Cup of Nations. The first one I'm ever actually following on my YouTube channel. And the first one that I'm actually paying close attention to. It's an epic one. It's an epic one. And the latest twist, the latest drama in the tournament, Egypt, the host, Javier Aguirre's, or Aguirre, as some may say, team has been knocked out. Mohamed Salah and company has been knocked out. The hosts are out. Bafana Bafana, South Africa. They played Egypt off the park today. They played Egypt off the park. And courtesy of an 85th minute goal by Lorch, they are in the quarterfinals to face the Super Eagles, Nigeria. I did not predict South Africa to win this game. The video that I made for the Nigeria-Cameroon match is still uploaded because of slow internet here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where I'm currently on vacation. Did not predict this. But South Africa, who came to Group D as the best third place team, I should say as one of the best third place team, played Egypt, who topped their group with a perfect 9 points. So South Africa barely made it through because of a win versus their neighbors Namibia. And Egypt were the favorites to smash South Africa, who has not been doing really well in African Cup of Nations matches as of late. But the twist. South Africa will move on. Egypt, they're already at home, but they will go home. What a performance, man. What a performance by Stuart Baxter and his boys. Every single one who involved in that game. The whole South African 11. I don't need to go through the players. Some of the names are not easy to say. But Percy Tau, he was brilliant. Motiba, Lorch going forward, he was brilliant. The captain was brilliant. Furman in the midfield. Williams in goal. Mokotjo, Zungu. All these guys put on a very spirited performance, excuse me, to topple Egypt. What a game. What a freaking game. South Africa dominated this game. Although Egypt got behind on a few occasions, in the first half, South Africa dominated. They created the better chances, but the end product was just lacking. When they had really good opportunities, they hit the ball straight to Shenwari, or they just barely put it wide. But they created most of the chances. Egypt were played off the park today. And the final group game, which was against Uganda, even though they won it, it was not an impressive win. My boy Football Pharaoh, who's a fellow YouTuber, he will be saying he's not surprised. I know that would be his reaction, that he is not surprised by this loss. Because Egypt, after their first game, I think, when they defeated Zimbabwe, they looked good. But after that, they have looked a little scrappy. Apart from Trezeguet, Mohamed Salah, and El Mohammadi, I think most of the other players were average. South Africa could have gotten a penalty, but it wasn't given. And at that point in time, I was saying maybe the officials are favoring Egypt here, the host. Full house, home crowd, sold out stadium. Maybe the referees don't want to give anything suspect and give an easy penalty to South Africa, who were playing them off the park. But the moment of truth came in the 85th minute when they sliced apart this Egyptian defense who was coming in, too many men forward, and Lorch, who got on the end of it, just put it past Shenwari, the game's only goal. Egypt tried very hard at the end and they left themselves vulnerable at the back. South Africa could have scored 2 or even 3. And poor performance, man. Poor performance by the Pharaohs. Poor performance. But I think we all have to give South Africa some credit here. They played well on the night. They played like the hungrier of the two teams, and they came out with the victory. This is a big win. This is probably one of the biggest victories for South Africa in a very, very, very long time. Very long time. they will go on to face Nigeria in the quarters, which would be a very even contest in my opinion, because Nigeria have not been at their best as well. So South Africa will definitely be fancying their chances against the Super Eagles. But during their group matches, I think South Africa was rather unlucky to only pick up 3 points. They played very well, especially Percy Tau. Only coming through the group as one of the best third place teams meant they would play one of the stronger teams in the tournament, one of the favorites to win the event, and that is Egypt, the most successful team in African football. And South Africa has done it. Remember, they won the AFCON, I think it was back in 1996 or somewhere there, just before they qualified for the 1998 World Cup, and they haven't been that good since then. But this South African team has played with belief. They defended very, very well against a dangerous Egyptian team with guys like Mohamed Salah, Trezeguet in there, Amir Wada, who came on after he was controversially sent home. And dealing with these threats isn't an easy thing, but South Africa did so today. Williams in goal made some really, really good decisions. The defenders dealt with anything that Egypt brought to them. And when going forward, South Africa were the more dangerous team. They looked deadlier on the counter than Egypt did. And the unrelenting pressure paid dividends in the 85th minute when Lorch scored. So this is a huge upset. This is a huge upset. We have to call it an upset. And when I made my round of 16 predictions, I didn't really make a lot of surprise predictions, but I did say that we will have quite a few upsets in the round of 16, and we have already seen, let's say, 2. Benin knocking out Morocco, and now South Africa knocking out Egypt. So it seems like the North African teams are not doing so well at this tournament. We have Tunisia left to come. We also have Algeria. So they might have to carry the torch for the North African nations. But as for South Africa, man, it's a really, really, really important win, and it will do their confidence a whole lot of good, because we have World Cup 2022 qualifiers coming up very, very soon. It's around the corner, and they would like to take this impetus into the qualifiers, because they haven't been there since they hosted in 2010. But this is a really good crop of players. So if they could build this team around guys like Percy Tau and Lebo Motiba, this South African team could be a force to be reckoned with going forward. As for stats in the game, Egypt, they had 15 shots at goal with only 3 on target. Not very clinical in their attacking third of the field. 63% possession, so they had most of the ball. 483 passes with an 83% pass accuracy. 15 fouls, and they picked up 1 yellow. For South Africa, they had 14 shots at goal, 6 on target. So you see, they were more clinical than Egypt. They only had 37% of the possession, but guys, as we all know, possession does not win you matches. 290 passes with a 73% pass accuracy. They committed 20 fouls, picked up 3 yellows. They soaked up the pressure from the Egyptian players very, very well. Broke on the counter and end up with the W. Big, 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 big win for Bafana Bafana, man. It's huge. It's huge. It's humongous. As for South Africa, they will face the Super Eagles on Wednesday the 10th of July. And if they defeat Nigeria, they can face one of Tunisia, Mali, Ivory Coast, or Algeria. Those round of 16 matches are yet to come. So we don't know who are going on to the quarters yet. But they could face one of those 4 teams. And I think they'll fancy their chances against Nigeria and anyone who they come up against right now, because they just defeated the favorites to win the tournament, and that is Egypt. But it was a very, very good performance by South Africa, man. Very, very impressive, and I wish them all the best in the remainder of the tournament. As for Egypt, man, they have a lot to work on. Remember, they went to the 2018 World Cup and flopped. Really, really flopped. Lost all 3 of their games despite Salah having a great season. And with Salah having another good season, he wasn't able to do anything with his national team once again. Well, coming out of the group, winning all 3 games, but flopping in the round of 16. Not good enough for Egypt. Will Javier Aguirre get sacked? Will he get sacked by the Egyptian FA? Because we know they like to sack the coaches. And it's a big failure. It's a huge failure. A nation has been let down. You can see the faces of the fans in the stadium. Most of the people in the stadium were Egyptians. You couldn't see no yellow. It was all red in the stadium. And they would be very disappointed going home. And it's a big achievement by South Africa. In front of a crowd like that, you defeat Egypt. Wow. Hats off to you. Hats off to South Africa, because they pulled off something remarkable today. So there you go, man. There you go. The African Cup of Nations with another twist. Do we have any more to come? Do we have any more twists to come? Do we? We will see Mali taking on Ivory Coast and Guinea taking on Algeria. Could Guinea down Algeria? Could Mali down Ivory Coast? Guys, it's quite possible right now. But all we know, we are going to have a new winner at the African Cup of Nations. And when I say new, I don't mean a team who has never won it before. Well, we could see that happening. But Cameroon already knocked out. Egypt already knocked out. So none of those two will lift the trophy. Those two teams were the finalists in the 2017 event. So we will see two new finalists. So guys, these are my thoughts on the game. Still on vacation, working hard today. Today is like a rest day for me because I partied like really hard last night. So I'm resting up today. So if you're new around here, consider hitting the subscribe button. Smash the thumbs up button, and in the comment section down below, let me know your predictions for the South Africa versus Nigeria fixture. Guys, from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where I'm currently on vacation, I'd like to say thanks for watching. Peace out. Rich Squad.